Hello everyone. Today we will start with our next topic 3B, that is elasticity of demand. It's for 12 marks. Okay, so today we will start with the introductory part. I will explain you the meaning, definition and elasticity of demand. See, we have already studied the law of demand, which shows the inverse relationship. See, we have in the law of demand, we have seen that there is inverse relationship. What is inverse relationship? That is opposite relationship between what? Price and quantity demanded. So, the law of demand has explained us the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. So, you can see from the diagram, when the price starts increasing, demand falls, and when price falls, demand starts increasing. This shows that there is inverse relationship between price and demand. Now the problem has arisen. Alfred Marshall has introduced the law of demand, but he has noticed that it is not possible to get the value numerically. Okay, we are understanding the relationship between price and quantity demanded, but with the help of elasticity concept we are able to find out it in numerical ways. Okay, so what happened? Therefore Alfred Marshall has explained the concept of elasticity of demand. Now I will explain you the concept of elasticity of demand. See, elasticity of demand, we all know the elastic, when we stretch or when we will not stretch, it will come to the normal, like rubber also. But if you stretch the thread, it will not happen. So it is, so thread is inelastic, but the elastic is elastic, it is stretchable. Okay, so elasticity, sometimes we use the word elastic. Elastic means response and inelastic means we are not responding. Now you tell me how we are going to react. See, in the case of this, suppose the price is increasing, how we will react, how we will respond? By showing that how much quantity we purchase, or uh, how much the response is like. Now in this case price is increasing, so obviously I am going to reduce the my quantity demanded. So this is how we are going to react. So we are going to react in this manner, by purchasing our commodities, by reducing our consumption, or by increasing our consumption. So this is the response. Let me explain you one more example. Suppose there is a stage performance is going on. Some student is performing dance. What happens sometimes, if we like the dance, what the crowd says, what the people do, they start clapping, they react it, they maybe someone will say once more, all these things. Those clappings are a reaction of the people who are watching. Same way, when the price is changing, reducing, increasing, we are reacting in what way? We are reacting in our quantity wise. Okay, so the elasticity is nothing but responsiveness of one variable to change in other variable. Now which variable is changing? This price, and we are reacting to this price. Okay, move on to the next concept. The elasticity of demand refers to degree. Now we have the elasticity, what it will do, we understood. It's a reaction, is the response to change in the one variable. Here it is price. So elasticity, it measures it and we get the value. So let's see the definition part now. Introduction is over. According to Professor Marshall, definition is little bit what we can say, it's little bit difficult, but once the concept is clear, then it's okay. So please first understand the concept. Professor Marshall, elasticity of demand is great or small. Remember this, elasticity of demand is always denoted by ed, or sometimes it is written as e. Better you write elasticity of demand as ed. Is great or small? Great or small means what? Sometimes it is more, sometimes it is less, according to amount demanded. This will happen, this value will come. How? It's nothing but quantity demanded to change in price. So the formula is ratio of percentage change. We have that ratio and all formulae. Ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded upon ratio, it's a ratio, so divided upon percentage change in price. Are you understanding? See, it is the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded of a commodity to percentage change in price. Elasticity of demand is great or small according to the, this ED will be more or less according to the demand. Whatever the quantity we have reacted, accordingly you will get the value. But you are reacting to what? You are reacting to price. So, quantity demanded falls much or little for a given rise in price. Now, the next is, we have different types of elasticity of demand. We have three elasticity of demand. See, on what basis they have classified this? See, income says means you are reacting, your quantity demanded is changing only and only because of change in income. Remember students, your whatever quantity demanded, you are reacting to what? Your income. If your income is more, we will see those types. In that I will explain you. First, just understand this concept. Income elasticity, the name itself indicates that response is changing, you are reacting, you are responding to what? To your income. Then we have cross elasticity. Here the quantity will change, but in the cross elasticity you have two commodities. Remember this, you have to compare two commodities, two goods. Okay. So mostly here price of one good is compared with quantity of another good. I will explain you one by one. Price of one good and quantity of another good. See, here we are comparing the price and quantity, in which cross elasticity. Now price elasticity, last one is price elasticity. We all know that quantity demanded totally depends upon the price variable. Price variable means according to price your quantity demand will change. Now I will explain you one more time. See, इलास्टिक असणं म्हणजे काय? फ्लेक्झिबिलिटी असणं. जेव्हा आपण स्ट्रेच करतो तेव्हा इलास्टिक स्ट्रेच होतं, अदरवाइज इट कम्स टू नॉर्मल. सेम वे रबर, इफ यू स्ट्रेच, इफ इट कम्स टू नॉर्मल. आता त्याचे टाइप्स काय आहेत? इलास्टिक असणं म्हणजे काय? रिॲक्टिंग. Inelastic म्हणजे काय? Not reacting. So elastic means you are reacting and inelastic means you are not reacting. Now we have income elasticity, cross elasticity and price elasticity. Three types are there. See, income elasticity, obviously you are reacting to your income. You are reacting according to your income. Price elasticity, you are reacting. Reacting म्हणजे reaction we are showing in this demand. Reaction we are showing in the form of demand. So price elasticity, according to price my quantity demanded is changing, and in the cross elasticity we are going to compare two goods. So price of one good, quantity of another good, information will be given like this. So we have finished with the types. Now in this lecture we will cover only income and cross elasticity. In my next lecture I will tell you about the price elasticity, because that is a little bit complicated or lot of diagrams, lengthy concept. Okay. Now we will see one by one. Now income elasticity of demand. It refers to degree of responsiveness of a change in quantity demanded to a change in the income only. Other factors including price remaining constant. In other words, income elasticity of demand is the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded to given percentage change in income. See, you may find it little bit difficult. I will explain you. So degree of responsiveness means what? The degree means what? To what extent you are reacting. Reacting to what? Change in quantity demanded. Why you are reacting? Because of change in income. परत सांगते, जो काही तुमचा रिस्पॉन्स आहे क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड वर, वॉट एव्हर द रिॲक्शन यू आर गिव्हिंग टू क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड, only because of change in income. Why we are saying income only? Other factors are also responsible, like price, population, advertisement, but we are ignoring it because the name itself suggests it is income elasticity of demand. Now I will explain you the formula. See, percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in income. Now I can write this formula in this way. Delta Q, I have already written over there. Delta Q upon Q divided by, now what is delta, what is Q, I will explain you. First understand these mathematical expressions. See, this is percentage they have written, so I will put percentage means 100 over here and 100 over here. Okay. Now students, see, this 100 and this 100 will get cancelled because both are in the same position. So I am going to cancel it. Now my equation will look like delta Q. See, you can see here the equation will look like this only. First I will write like this. See, delta Q upon Q divided by delta Y upon Y. Now I will tell you how we are going to write. See, 5 by 3. If you write 5 by 3, I am taking one example. It's not 5 by 3. Just considering how it will work. 5 by 3 will be written as 5 divided by 3. Okay. Same way, now I am going to convert this in division form. Instead of this, I will write division sign, and this will come as delta Y. This is a triangle. It is called delta. Delta means change. Now my next concept is I want to put one multiplication sign over here. So this will remain as it is. And instead of division, I am writing multiplication. Now remember student, this is mathematical rule. If division will get converted into product, then these places will get changed. For example, here numerator will become denominator and this will become, denominator will become numerator. So just from presentation point of view, I am writing delta in one side and your Y upon Q in one side. Got the point? Understood the formula? Again I am telling you, this is percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in income. Now students remember this, income is denoted by the alphabet Y. That's why we are using Y. Instead of income, we are writing Y. And we know quantity demanded is Q. Now delta. Now what is delta? Delta means change in quantity demanded. That is old and new, difference. For example, if I say my income is 5,000. Earlier my income was 5,000 and now it has changed to 7,000. So there is an increase. But if I ask you what is the change, what you will do? New minus old. 7,000 minus 5,000 means change means 2,000. So you have to write over here change. Change means old and new. This difference between old and new quantity upon original quantity divided by difference between income, old and new, whatever the difference, divided by original income. 100 will get cancelled, so it will look like divided, and when division will be converted into the place of this, after division place of these things will change. So accordingly finally we will get this formula. Okay, now we are done with the formula. Now I will explain all these formulas in next lecture, where I am going to take examples also. Actually, examples are not the part of your syllabus, or we can say they are not going to ask numericals, but I will explain you so that these concept will be more clear to you. Okay, these things are there in the CA foundation. So let's see types of income elasticity of demand. Now remember, we have positive, we have negative, and we have zero income elasticity. Okay, now positive income elasticity. Now what is positive? See, positive when sorry, not price, here we are saying income. When your income is increasing, when your income has increased, at that time your quantity demanded has also increased. Do you see the direction of arrows? They are moving in the same direction. At the same time, if my income has reduced, then my quantity demanded will also reduce. Can you see? The direction is same. That's why it is called positive. So we are reacting. Remember this, we are reacting. We are reacting to income. If my income is increasing, I am purchasing more. If my income has reduced, I will purchase less. You can see the current situation. Nowadays, demand has reduced. Why? Because for these comforts and comforts and luxurious goods, or sometimes in necessaries also, we think about it, ki okay, I can purchase less instead of purchasing more. Whatever the necessity is there, today's necessity, accordingly I will purchase. So we are, because of this corona situation, our income, some people's income have stopped, or some people's income has reduced. So our quantity demanded has also affected, overall economy has also affected. So this is called positive. See the direction, accordingly income you are reacting, that's why it is positive. But sometimes what happens, if my income increases, quantity demanded falls. This is just exactly opposite whatever we have discussed in positive income elasticity. How? Students, do you remember the inferior goods, given goods concept which we studied in law of demand as the exceptions? Okay, let's revise it. Inferior goods are those goods which are purchased less when their price has reduced. So here you find out negative relationship. Can you see, if income is increasing, instead of purchasing more, I have stopped purchasing, or I have purchasing less amount of those commodities, and those commodities must be inferior only, low quality. We have seen in giffen goods, when we have seen the bread and meat giffen paradox. Okay, what happened in that case? When cheap commodities price reduces, people purchases less of it, and whatever the amount they have saved, they invest it into purchase a superior quality goods. So in negative income elasticity is applicable in case of given goods or inferior goods. Then we have zero income elasticity. Necessary goods for which change in income does not have any effect on the demand for a commodity, then the income elasticity is zero. For example, salt. Today salt price is 10 rupees, and suppose the price has increased to 100, still we are going to purchase it. We are not going to see whether we have income or not, whether even though your income has increased, you are not going to purchase more quantities of salt, or even if your income has stopped, you are not going to stop purchasing those commodities. Similarly, some medicines, life saving medicines, we say that life saving medicines, that means bp diabetes, or some medicines are there which are necessary for that person. They have to go and purchase whether they have income, or if suppose their income has increased, it doesn't mean that they are going to purchase more and more. So zero income elasticity means we are not, there is no reaction for those things. Okay, so we have done with the types of income elasticity. Now let's discuss the cross elasticity of demand. Here we will discuss the formula. It refers to change. I have already told you cross elasticity is a comparison of two goods, price of one, quantity of another. Now what is, how we are going to compare? It refers to change in quantity demanded of one commodity due to change in the price of other commodity. And there comes these complementary goods or substitute goods. Remember students, there is one word, related goods. Related goods are nothing but complementary goods and substitute goods. Now we have already discussed in demand chapter what is complementary and what is substitute goods. Let's revise it one more time. Related goods includes complementary goods and substitute goods. Now what is complementary goods? Complementary goods means if you purchase the car, you have to purchase the petrol for it. If you have purchased particular pen, for example Parker pen, then you have to purchase that ink. Okay, so it's like if suppose you are preparing tea, then you have to add tea powder, sugar, so these things are complementary. You have to compulsory purchase the another also. Okay, and substitute goods are nothing but you can substitute. Instead of tea you can drink coffee, instead of Pepsi you can go for Coca-Cola, like this. Okay, so now we are going to study this one by one. See the formula first. Percentage change in quantity demanded. How we write? Percentage change in quantity demanded of commodity X upon, this is X. Okay. Then percentage change in price of commodity Y. I have already told you this percentage signs goes because of same, because of the position, so it remains like this. Now we can say that it is nothing but, you can see here, delta Qx upon Qx, delta Qx upon, means instead of writing in this way, I am converting this everything in the numerical form. Then delta P y upon P y. Okay, so it will look like delta Qx upon Qx division sign delta Py upon price of y. Py means quantity of x, price of y. Py means price of y. Delta Py means change in uh, price of y commodity. So instead of this, I will write, instead of division I will put into sign. Now if I put into sign, their place will change. Delta Py. So from presentation point of view, my formula will look like this. Okay, I hope you are understanding. This is little bit difficult for me to write and time consuming also, but I guess you understood this concept. So finally I got this formula. Finally we got this. Okay, now let's see the different types of elasticity. One more thing, you remember this. Positive cross elasticity is applicable in substitute goods and negative cross elasticity is applicable in complementary goods. How that I will explain you. Again here also we have three types: positive, negative and zero. In income elasticity also we have seen positive income elasticity, negative income elasticity and cross elasticity. Same way here also. Now substitute goods such as tea and coffee, Pepsi and Coke has positive growth. How I will explain you. Suppose you can see this is Pepsi and this is Coca-Cola. Suppose the price of Pepsi has increased. Price of Pepsi, Price of Pepsi has increased. So people start substituting different commodity, different substitute available in the market. So they all shift to purchase this. Okay, Pepsi people will go to purchase Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola is cheaper than Pepsi because price of Pepsi has increased. So here quantity demanded will increase. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? See the position of arrows, both are in the same direction. That's why it is called positive cross elasticity and therefore it is applicable in the case of substitute goods. Now I will explain you the negative cross elasticity. Now you know complementary goods, you have to purchase car. If you have purchased car, then you have to purchase petrol. These are complementary. Now see, if price of petrol is falling, if which is not which is highly impossible, but let's see, let's assume it, price of petrol falls. In this case, as the petrol is falling, petrol prices are falling, demand for petrol car rises. Can you see the arrows? They are in opposite relation. That's why we are saying negative cross elasticity. Okay, so same example, price of petrol is rising, people move to different type of cars instead of petrol cars. So petrol car demand falls and they start purchasing CNG, diesel vehicles. And the last one is zero cross elasticity. Zero cross elasticity of demand takes place in the case of unrelated goods. Remember this, unrelated means what? There is no relationship at all. There is no relationship at all. So rise or fall in price of car may not affect the demand for books. Can you see any relation between car and books? No. That's why they are saying it is applicable for unrelated goods. Now let's see quick 2 minutes revision. We have seen that in the last lecture we have, in the last chapter we have studied the relationship between price and demand. There is inverse relationship, that is when price increases demand falls, when price falls demand increases. So in this chapter the Marshall has introduced us that law of demand explains us only the relationship and elasticity explains us the numerical value of that response. Whatever the we are reacting in the form of demand, that we are able to find out the elasticity, the responsiveness in the form of numbers, numerical value. Okay, then what is elasticity? Elasticity is nothing but the how we react to the price, how we react to the income. And cross elasticity, we have seen that how there is a relationship between two goods, maybe substitute goods and complementary goods. Substitute goods are called as substitute goods and complementary goods are called as related goods. Okay, then we have seen income elasticity. Then we have seen the formula, how it comes. Different three types: positive, negative, zero. When income rises, demand also rises, that is positive. Income falls, demand falls, positive. Negative, there is inverse, it is applicable in case of inferior goods. It means when your income is increasing, still you are purchasing less amount of those commodities. Then we have seen cross elasticity. Substitute goods have positive, and here we are going to compare price of one good with the quantity of another good. Then we have seen negative cross elasticity. Complementary goods are applicable, it is applicable to complementary goods. Then we have seen the zero cross elasticity, that is unrelated goods. Students, here we have finished all the types of income and cross elasticity. Okay, I hope you understood. Thank you.